What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I really want to have a heart-to-heart discussion on you and really with you have a talk about how to really to unlazy yourself and really how to not become lazy in your wholesaling real estate business, and most importantly, how to get stuff done. If you're I don't know how to say this the right way, but a lifelong procrastinator, right? If you're somebody that is always making excuses, somebody that is always late to things, somebody that's always procrastinating, and this is making you struggle in wholesaling, or if you think you might have some lazy tendencies, what I really want to do in this live stream today is break down actually how to get stuff done, how the greatest wholesalers in your market and every single market in wholesaling real estate get things done, and most importantly, how you can, from any skill set really, start getting the important stuff done in wholesaling real estate so you can have the best success possible. Now, before we get into it, do me a big favor. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe, guys. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys, and comment below your questions. And I really want to help everybody out learn wholesaling real estate today. And I think I'm going to help a lot of people because I think a lot of people, they get the concept of wholesaling down. But when it comes to executing the work and executing that action, that's where so many beginner wholesalers struggle. And that's really what I want to break down today and share. Executing that action. Let's just check the audio real quick. Beginner wholesalers struggle. And that's really what I want to break down today and share. All right, the audio looks good to me. So we are set up and we're ready to go. So without further ado, let me just change the screen up here, get the little mouse over here, and we're set up for success. So let's get it going, guys. Let's kind of show exactly what you need to do and what you need to know in your wholesaling real estate business. And let's sort of just talk about this. I think, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. I don't think I'm saying this in a way that is offensive to people, but I would say for most wholesalers watching this video, you guys probably know this is true, but a lot of people, a lot of beginners in wholesaling real estate, frankly, they're lazy. And I just want people to understand when I say that, that is not a bad thing. And as somebody that is lazy and that sometimes has lazy tendencies, it's actually one of the best ways to do it, right? Because Bill Gates always says this: if you want to get the most efficient way done in a job, bring it to somebody that's lazy, right? Because they'll find the quickest way to get that job done. If it's just like, moving these boxes to this place, find a lazy person because they will find the easiest way to do it. And then somebody just gets it done, just pick it up and just go do it, right? But the truth is, being lazy can be something that's good and also something that's bad. You have to balance it for the both of them. And I think a lot of people think it's like a huge, desperate, terrible thing. And the truth is, being lazy can actually help you out in wholesaling real estate. But a lot of things that are bad about being lazy, I want to switch it, right? If you are constantly procrastinating, I actually talk to a lot of wholesalers like this that they procrastinate a lot, right? And that is not an issue, right? Like, that's not going to stop you from being successful. But if you know how to shift that procrastination into something else, your success in wholesaling is just going to skyrocket off the roof. And that's really what I want to talk with you guys today. And that's really what I want to break down is sort of the execution plan, the quote unquote getting stuff done. That's really where so many of you guys are struggling right now. And that's really what I want to help everybody out. So without further ado, let's get it going, guys. And just so everybody understands, so we're all on the same base level here, there's two really parts of wholesaling as a beginner we really have to focus on, right? Number one is the knowledge side, actually understanding, grasping it, knowing what list to pull, all these things, right? And then there's the execution and then the action side, right? So there's knowing what to do and actually doing it, right? I really put it down into fitness, right? And it's like knowing what workouts to do and knowing what healthy foods to eat and then actually doing it, right? Because it is a completely different story when all your buddies are out and they got pizza, right? And you want to go grab all that stuff and maybe your diet plan doesn't say it. A lot of people get a little lazy on the diet and then, hey, the results aren't there, right? And it's not like that perfectly for wholesaling, right? But what I can straight up tell you is if you guys have the knowledge, right? So at freewholesalinggroup.com below is the free real estate wholesaling course, over 50,000 active members. That's the knowledge, right? Like, that's knowing what to do. That's the playbook. Hey, this is the play. Now you got to take the action, right? And what we're talking about today is sort of the action part, right? Like the execution, going actually out there, doing the calls, doing the texts, doing the marketing, doing the appointments, getting the cash buyers, getting the deal done, getting it, like all this stuff. That's the execution. That's the action part. That's the part all these real estate wholesaling gurus never want to talk about, right? That's all in the paid mentorships. That's all in the Zoom calls and the private one-on-one calls, right? And like those are things that aren't really talked about, right? Because so many people teach this, and it's actually pretty smart if you sell online products, but it's always give the knowledge for free and then sell the execution, right? That's always been something a lot of online marketers have talked about. And I actually agree with them, right? Like that's where most wholesalers use the internet part of teaching wholesaling is they try to give you some knowledge and they want to sell the execution out to you. And what I really want to do is give the execution part for free. And most people, you pay thousands and thousands of dollars to sit on a stage and hear somebody talk about this. And really what I do is just give it out for free right now. But the knowledge part that I've talked about, right, that we're talking about action execution today. So like freewholesaling.com, you want to get the knowledge up, go through there. You got one-on-ones today we can talk about, right? Just understand that, guys. I think a lot of people understand that, right? So let's talk about getting stuff done, right? And getting stuff done is really, there's a couple of definitions of it, right? And the way that I look at getting stuff done is a lot of people get stuff done that they think are productive, but it's not really productive, right? So one example is if I have a list of 10,000 sellers and I go cold call that list, right? And I got it done and I didn't get any deals, but like I just went through like, hey, are you owner, look to sell your property, blah, 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 blah. And like you just ran through the list and you don't really care about how good your script is. You don't care about how nice you are. You just do it. If you just do it to do it, it's not going to do well, okay? This isn't like running a mile. Like, oh, I ran the mile. Like, it's not really about that, right? It's like how good you ran the mile. And it's the way I look at it really is going to the gym. And I don't know why I'm saying the gym analogies today, but like it is very close to going to the gym because I see people that go in the gym and they work out an hour and they never get buff, they never get any healthier, and they spend like 10 minutes working out and another 15 minutes on their phone, but they were in the gym for an hour, right? And then you got the gal in there that goes in the gym and like they squat, they bench, they deadlift, they do they go crazy for an hour and they don't stop and they're a pool of sweat and they work out like crazy and they're like super fit. Both those people went to the gym for an hour. Why the person that worked their butt off for that hour do so much better than the other person that spent? They both spent an hour in the gym. It's about the quality of time you're spending in there, right? So I think a lot of people, when it comes to getting stuff done, it really comes down to two things. It is income producing activities, income producing tasks, and non-income producing tasks. And I think a lot of people get this very, very, very confused. And really, when you put wholesaling real estate in the nitty-gritty category, the top income producing activities is having conversations with sellers and giving offers. And then next would probably be talking to cash buyers and getting the deal sold through a cash buyer. But really, if I list like, let's say 5, right? I would probably say off the top of my head, number 5 is going to be talking to cash buyers. Number 4 is going to be talking to title companies, make sure title issues, everything's going good. 3 is follow-up. 2 would probably just be qualifying sellers and doing initial marketing out there, maybe cold calling. And number 1 is just giving an offer, being on appointment, right? So those are the top 5 income producing activities. And really, I'm not calling it non-income producing, like manually skip trace and true people search, organizing a list, sending an SMS text blast. I put that in the number 3 category. But like, you going out here and putting up bandit signs, that's an income producing activity. But like, you got to really look at wholesaling as, in my business right now, is this something that's producing income or is it not? Am I designing a logo for my company? Am I going to try to buy this guru program? Like, am I going to actually make money from buying this? Probably not, right? Most of the income you're going to make in wholesaling is going to come from income producing activities, right? Like, making sure you have the perfect t-shirt for your organization and coming up with the right name for your company. That's what I'm going to do. Go and get headshots. That's non-income producing activities. And what I've seen with so many beginner wholesalers is they do that, right? And the worst offense of all of this, hands down, the worst one that drives me literally insane are people that overcomplicate wholesaling. The people that always go in the Facebook groups, ask for millions and millions of questions. They try to get advice from every single person. How do you SMS? How do you cold call? They always have questions. They never take action, and they're always just researching, right? They're what we call analysis paralysis. And really what I want you to do is look at your day in wholesaling, like me spending 5 hours talking and networking with other wholesalers in my market. Did that produce me income versus me actually cold calling? Because a lot of people, they self-describe that they have analysis paralysis, but the honest truth is they're doing those non-income producing activities because they're really scared to actually do the income producing thing. They're scared to cold call, they're scared to talk to a seller, they're scared to go on the appointment, they're scared to follow up, and they say, you know what? I need to get a logo before I can do all these things. Like they're trying to buy time so they don't have to do that. And that is basically what procrastination is, right? That's what it is. So like if you have to go out and mow the lawn, right? And you really don't want to mow that lawn. You're like, well, I got to clean the garage first before I do that. I got to get a snack. I got to get the right tunes. I got to get my playlist. I got to call my grandma. Like you're going to come up with all the excuses so you don't have to do that thing. And that thing that most people don't want to do produces income. And the thing that you're doing right now is non-income producing tasks. So if you're in analysis paralysis, you're being lazy right now, and you want to get the actual stuff that's actually going to make you money, actually want to get money done, income producing activities, not non-income producing activities. This is going to be the cardinal sin number one for most wholesalers, okay? So many people get this very, very confused, okay? I think so many wholesalers starting out get this very, very confused, okay? So many people, all right, they're like, oh my gosh, why am I not getting, because the issue is so many wholesalers out here, they really think that creating all this crazy stuff is gonna help. Guys, it's all about the execution, okay? All about the execution. So let's talk about the next one, right? I kind of talked on this before. I kind of talked about it a little bit, but let me talk about this a little more. This is quality versus quantity. Let me repeat myself one more time. Quality over quantity. So now we're actually taking action. Now we're cold calling. Now we're talking to sellers. Now we're drawing for dollars. We're reverse drawing for dollars. We're doing all these things. We need to focus on the quality over the quantity for a very, very, very easy reason. We're going to get more done. It is an equation, right? If I can really do this as a multiple, and this is the best way I can explain it. I have a list and I have a marketing channel, right? Very important, right? Marketing channel will be cold calling. So, I mean, you can really get more advanced. It's like how good your script is and really how you cold call, the number you got, right? The skip tracing, the dialer, all that stuff. But like cold calling is an equation, right? And so you really look at two ways. Let me write it down for you guys. So like it makes a little more sense, right? This is the way my little brain looks at things. So if I have a 2 times 2, 2 times 2 equals 4, right? That makes sense, right? So a 2 will be a list. I'm going to call it 2 out of 10 list quality score versus a 2 script versus cold calling score, okay? So this is the way I look at it, right? So if we have like a factor, right? Like I look at like a hit points in a video game, right? So like if my list is a 2 out of 4 or 2 out of 5, whatever you want, like the quality of the list is a 2 and the quality of my skip tracing, cold calling, scripts, all this stuff is a 2. That means 2 times 2 equals 4, right? Not bad. But what if we can just increase? I'm not even gonna like, why don't we just get a better list? Why don't we do a probate versus a high equity? What is that? What if we made that a 4, right? We can effectively double the amount of deals we do in a month by just having a better list. Not by cold calling more, not by doing a better script, not just by having a better list. And obviously, like this is the easiest one, right? Like, I mean, this is pretty much the biggest no-brainer of them all. If you can increase the list and have our killer script, you're going to be at a 16. And if you really look at that, 4 times 4 is going to be 16. You're going to be 4 times more efficient by doing that. So if I just double my quality list and double my skip tracing, scripts, and cold calling, I'm going to do 4 times more deals. I'm going to double my effort, but I'm going to get 4x more results. And this is the first thing about quality over quantity. Now then we can get into quantity from there, but like you don't have to cold call from 10 hours a week to 20 to get double the deals, right? You can go from 10 to 10 and still quadruple your results by just having more quality. It is the best leverage you can possibly have. And I think so many people, they really think that the top leverage is time and doing 50, 60, 100 hours a week of cold calling them. Yes, putting the hours in cold calling is great. I put in the hours, but my quality wasn't there when I was doing it, right? And I guess it gave me grit, made me a lot better with a lot of things, but I was definitely stupid doing it, right? Like if I knew what I knew now about the quality equation, I call it a quality matrix to a point, it gets really well, right? And you really look at wholesaling real estate and your marketing and getting stuff done, right? It all comes down to getting the things done that matter and with speed. And if I can get a list of 1,000 probates done with the optimal speed, if I can drive for dollars with optimal speed and I don't procrastinate and I get up and just do it, right? I don't take breaks. I just get it through done. Whoever can do the things that they have to get done with the most speed is going to talk to the most sellers. And that's how you win in wholesaling. The next equation here of getting stuff done and actually not being lazy, right? And this has honestly helped me the most in my life is creating discipline in your life. And no, this isn't getting up at 2 a.m. and getting a workout and all this stuff. It's not about that. It's just creating discipline in your business. And disciplines will equal freedom and discipline will breed freedom for you. I have not met one millionaire wholesaler that doesn't have discipline in their lives. And the question is, if pretty much every single millionaire in wholesaling has discipline in their lives, and you want to become a millionaire, what do you think you have to do? You have to be like them, right? Everyone thinks, oh, it's a special script they have. It's all, guys, a lot of it's the super stupid, simple stuff. And for most people that aren't successful in wholesaling, they don't have discipline in their wholesaling schedules. And this is something I found that I see so many people struggle with, but like, you need to create discipline. You have to implement discipline in your life. And once you implement that discipline, it's going to do well. So what is discipline? Discipline really comes back to three things I've honestly seen. It comes to schedules, planning, and execution. And if you can have just a set schedule of your work, if you can have a very good and set plan out of what you're going to do, and then execution of that plan, it's going to be good. Like I've always said, the gap between that plan and execution is going to be the difference between you doing really well or not in your wholesaling business. And a lot of people can make plans. A lot of people can execute. But if you can add both of them together, that's going to give you the best results in getting the stuff done. So I want to ask everybody a question here. I think everyone can understand this. And I know a lot of people get me this objection, right? Oh my gosh, Zach, in wholesaling real estate, it's so difficult. Oh, I just can't do it. The discipline, it's easy for you, Zach. Discipline's super hard for me, right? It's super, super hard. Oh my gosh, discipline is the most difficult thing in the world, right? I want to ask everybody a question, okay? What do all of these men and women have in common? Winston Churchill, Martin Luther King Jr., Abe Lincoln, Kobe Bryant, Albert Einstein, Harriet Tubman, and Muhammad Ali. These are all people I personally have a great admiration for the things they have done. These are all men and women that have insane courage, and these are men and women that I greatly admire. Now, this is not all the men and women I admire in my life, right? And I've seen in history, but these are people I really look up to and people that, you know, I really think you can see their life stories. It creates a lot of courage in your heart and it creates a lot of motivation. These people I find motivation from. Now, what do all of these people have in common? I want everyone to answer this one because rags to riches, honestly, kind of true, not going to lie. But yes, they're leaders. That's correct. But, you know, how do we see that and make that into wholesaling, right? They're determined, straight hustlers to a point, you know, but they did what's 10x expected of them, yes, but that's not a thing, right? Like, oh, they had drive, they had all this stuff, but like they had discipline. It's none of this stuff, okay? It's one thing, okay? And this is the one thing I found from them that you guys can use. And this comes back to being a great wholesaler is what they have. And this is what I found with people that are lazy and they need to get their butts to work and people that do it, right? It's not persistence. It's not, I mean, Like, okay, you can say disciplined. They didn't quit. That's one thing. But Tommy Ling's got it right. And this is the thing they've all had, okay? They all had a plan, all right? They all had a plan. And I want you guys to understand that. Yes, they could have had a hustle. They could have never quit it. But like, guys, I'm just being completely honest. Like, if Winston Churchill just went and hustled it out, World War II would have not been won, okay? Would have gone to the bad guys, right? If MLK did not have a plan, all the organization he did, would like a lot of his stuff was planning, right? And a lot of his stuff, unfortunately, was not planned, but like the bad things, but like you look at Abe Lincoln, you look at Kobe Bryant, Einstein, Harry Tubman, Muhammad Ali, like they all had plans. They all had executions, right? Like they all had a plan. And so you have to understand, if you want to be like those people and you want to use it for your wholesaling real estate business, yes, the discipline, the curve, that stuff's all great, but you have to have a plan. And this is the number one thing so many people are lacking in their wholesaling real estate business. They don't have a plan. Okay? If all these people, I want to name these people again one more time. And I'm not going to go through each one because I can go forever about these people, but like read about them. They all had a plan. Okay? Harry Tubman, let's talk about Harry Tubman for a second. If she didn't have a plan, there's no going back on like if the plan didn't work, it's not good. Okay? You had to have a plan. She had a plan, she executed it, and she helped so many people out. Muhammad Ali, all of his body, he had plans, right? He had some cool shuffle stuff, but like they had plans. Einstein had a plan, right? He had a plan of what he was doing. He had set schedule discipline. Kobe always had a plan. Lincoln had a plan. MLK, Winston Churchill. They all had plans. And yes, they had all the other great characteristics we always look forward to in men and women, but you got to understand that they all had a plan. So if you're looking to get into wholesaling real estate, do you really think you can go out here and not have a plan? I just want you guys to understand that. You need a plan. And I see so many beginners just don't create plans and they just willy-nilly go out there. And this comes back to everything, right? Like you just got to have a plan to execute it. And this is really, so many people have this problem. Persistence is great, discipline, all that stuff. And guys, you guys are right in the comments about this stuff. But it's all about having that plan, right? Let me ask you a question. This is one question I want you guys to understand. Like I've said this before, but like, do you think you are better and smarter than Kobe? The answer is probably not. Okay, you are not smarter or better than Kobe, okay? Talk about basketball. No one on here is better at basketball than Kobe Bryant. And if you are not smarter than Kobe, or you're not better at basketball than Kobe, or better than Kobe, then why do you think you can actually go out here and execute and be successful without a plan? You think any of the men and women I just talked about, do you think you're a better person than them? Most likely not. And I'm nowhere near any of those people's levels of humanity and lives change, all that stuff. And, you know, like that's a whole different realm than wholesaling. I'll tell you that. But one thing I can tell you is I am not better than those people. I strive to be and I hope to be, but like, since I'm not better, like I have to look at them as a mentor for this, right? And if they all had a plan, why do I think I can do something and not have a plan for it, right? You have to have a plan. And if you do not have the plan, and then you add the execution, if you really add in the execution with it and then the action, you're going to do well. Just so many people get really confused on this, right? But you have to actually go out here and create that plan, right? So it all comes back to create the plan, implement with massive action, and have speed with it, and you'll be good. Now remember, this is not an excuse to go plan for weeks on how to wholesale. A plan can be made in a day, can be made in an hour, can be made in 5 minutes, right? But the gap between creating that plan and actually taking action on that plan, that has to be super short. And that the shorter it is, hopefully the better. You don't want to waste your time on it, but like you have to have the right execution on your plans. And I think so many wholesalers coming out here watching me, they think, oh, I'll make a plan. I'm going to spend a month on a plan. No, that's you honestly need maybe a day, a weekend at most. How do I choose the right wholesaling market? It's not the right wholesaling market shouldn't take you more than maybe 6 hours if you really want to go crazy on it and do insane research. But like, guys, create the plan, execute. Like, there should be no ifs, ands, or excuses on it, right? I can tell you about hustle, mentality, all this, guys. That motivation is not going to be there all the time, right? Like, you're not going to have me breathing down your neck telling you just go do something. Like, you're going to just, sometimes having that plan is going to be easier than quitting, and just because it's already there, the momentum's already starting, right? And kind of let's talk about the quality versus quantity thing, right? And why do you want to take action right now? Why do you actually want to be doing this? Like, why do you have to hustle? Why do you have to do all this stuff, right? Just look at things, okay? So this is the age of the car versus the miles on it. I read this in a book once. It's very important to understand the difference between this. Does it matter the age of the car or the miles on the car? Does that change the value of something, right? And just think about that for a second. And what I mean by this is we're going to look at two examples, right? We have a 2019 Honda Civic. 3,000. I bet somebody has a 2019 Honda Civic. They're probably like, what? How does he know that? I don't know. Just guessed it, okay? That car has 3,000 miles on it, all right? It's washed, detailed, looks perfect. I made it look perfect for you, right? The thing's a 2019 Honda Civic, right? It's what, 3 years old? And I have a 2019 Honda Civic in the 3 years. That one got drove 20,000 miles. I clean it, buff it, looks perfect, right? If I look, both of these cars identical, you didn't see the odometer, these cars look identical probably, if I make them look perfect, right? And the question is, most people without looking at the odometer, they're gonna be like, oh, they're the same car. They've done the same thing and they've done the same. The truth is that 2019 Honda Civic with 20,000 drove 17,000 more miles. It did a lot more work. And the truth is they made more money, but they're the same age. And the way you got to look at it is all these cars are completely, like, you might have a 2005 Honda Accord. You might have a 2000, and someone else might have a 2005 Honda Accord. It doesn't matter. Like, one could be worth a lot different, or one could have driven a lot more miles than the other. And what I mean by this is doing the grind part of wholesaling real estate, and let's kind of talk about getting the scaling done, right? The motivation to go out here and grind and get your first deal, make your first 100K, $250,000, and then scaling up to $1 million, right? That grind phase of wholesaling that I call it, right? I usually call it the first 2 years of it. It isn't forever. And if you just don't go quality, you don't go all in this business, you actually don't try to do the right methods and start scaling up your operations and stuff, right? You're going to be an old Camry. And what I mean by this, right? You get a team and scale at, let's say, 100,000 miles. Okay, you're at 100,000 miles. Once you hit 100,000 miles on the car, you get a team, you scale, you don't have to work as hard anymore, right? So the truth is, don't wait till your 2005 Camry to scale to get to 100,000 miles. There's people on here that have wholesales for 15 years, and now they're finally scaling. And they've kind of got in and out in this business. They didn't really fully execute or do plans, and now they're finally doing it, right? It's better to hit 100,000 miles, quote unquote, and be a 2019 Camry, because the 2019 Camry is going to look nicer. What do I mean by this? It's a lot better, like me, to be 23 years old and have a scaled up wholesaling business that's doing millions of dollars every single year versus finally doing that at age 45. At 23, I have a lot more I can do in my life. My life's a lot better because I'm able to do it at 23 versus at 45. And that's not a knock on anyone's 45. But the truth is, it's better to be younger and scale up a business and get through the grind. It's easier to get through the grind phase when you're younger than when you're older. So when's the best time to get through the grind phase? It's now. You'd rather do it at 45 than 65, right? And I think a lot of people get very, very confused on that, right? And the question is, how do I get the miles? How do I do the grind? How do I actually get this going? How do I do the action? What kind of action do I take? So many people ask me this question. And the honest truth of that question is marketing, talking to sellers, doing deals, it all comes down to getting a hold of motivated sellers, preferably more motivated sellers, at greater speeds with more precision. And I know I'm talking from maybe a macro perspective, maybe a kind of a drawn out perspective of wholesaling real estate, but I want you guys to understand one thing. The wholesaler that spends 5 years wholesaling real estate and that did 10 deals is a lot more worn out, drawn out, and defeated than the guy that did 10 deals in 2 months, his first 2 months, right? They both did the same amount of work, but the one person did it in 2 months. I'd rather do something it takes 60 days than, 5 years. And really, the battle in wholesaling real estate, the quote unquote war of wholesaling, I look at it different ways, right? You do not want to have a long, drawn out war. You'd rather have a short war because there's less people that get hurt, right? And I always say that like that. This is the way I look at wholesaling, right? A long, drawn out war hurts more people than a fast moving, quick one. And let that sink in for a second. Wars that last 10, 15, 20 years are not good, right? But if you get one done, and I hate to see anything bad happen in those things, but like, if you really look at the overall perspective, I don't want to say any names that get the YouTube algorithm upset, but like, a 2-day war where maybe there's 15 people that get hurt is way better than a 10-year war where hundreds of thousands get hurt, right? And that battle is getting your first 100K or your first 250K where you can stop getting that job, or you don't have to deal with that job. And how do you make a battle shorter? How do you do things shorter like that? You go harder in the paint, right? You get more precision. You go crazier on it, right? You do better. And it's not about how much work you do, but it's like how precise and how good your plans are and everything like that. I'm not talking about naval battles or anything like that, but like, it is true, right? The war of wholesaling. So I'd rather do 5 hard battles, 5 hard months of wholesaling than 50 long, drawn out battles. Okay, maybe 50 months of wholesaling, right? And if you go, some people can go really hard for 5 months and get 50 months worth of action done, and they don't have to work that job anymore, and they don't have to be so stressed out, because like working a part-time, full-time job and wholesaling on the side for 50 months stinks. So you're working like 60, 70, 80 hours. But if you're going really hard on that part-time the right way for the 5 months, and you can stop, maybe you're working 30, 40 hours right now, right? And that's going to help you just increase your results for wholesaling. And that's the way I want to let everyone understand. So if anyone take what I say and maybe think of some homework of what I say, I want to ask everybody this. And I sometimes have to do this to myself, and it's not fun, but it's true. But I want everybody to write down your daily schedule. I know about 5% of people that are watching this are actually going to do this. Probably 5. I honestly would say 5. And I would say 50% of those people that show me out of the 5%, I'd say 2.5 actually are going to show me legitimately what it is. I want you to write down your daily schedule. If you're talking to me right now, you're full-time in wholesaling real estate and you don't know why you're not being successful, I want you to write down your daily schedule. And I want you to audit yourself. This has helped me so many times when I started out wholesaling, year 1 to year 2, that like it helped just change the little things that changed everything, right? And it's going to change everything. Okay. So I want you guys to write down everything. Daily schedule. What do you do? What time you wake up? What time you go to bed? All the stuff. I want you to write down what type of these activities are they. Did the 8 hours I spent today wholesaling, how many of those were income producing? How many were on TikTok? How many were on Facebook? How many were on Instagram, email, all this stuff? And how many were actually going out here producing income for the business? What's an income producing activity? There's mostly 5 of them, right? Talking to cash buyers, title companies, things like that. Yeah, I'd say these, doing assignment of contracts, appointments for the buyers, right? Number 3, sort of put this on here, but this is pulling lists, maybe skip tracing if you really want to, going to courthouse, stuff like that. I would also add follow-ups on that too, follow-ups with sellers. Number 2 is marketing, cold calling, text blasting, whatever type of marketing, bandit signs, whatever you're doing. And then number 1 is appointments, talking to sellers. I put number 2, qualifying sellers too. Like, of those 5 I listed, which one of those were income producing? Let me write them down for you. I don't think I wrote them down today. But I want you guys to understand this, right? So talking with cash buyers and title companies. All right. Let's talk about this from the 5, right? So let's talk about 5, right? These are going to be the 5 income producing activities, okay? Number 5 is going to be talking with cash buyers and title companies, okay? That's income producing number 5. And these are ranked, okay? Number 5 is the least important to number 1. Number 4, I would say here is just probably going to do assignment of contracts and buyer's appointments. All right. Number 4 is going to be doing assignment of contract work and buyer appointments, things like that. Maybe scaling up an operation. I'll give you some leeway on this, right? And number 3 is probably going to be following up with sellers, Number 3, I would call that following up with sellers. And I'd add list pulling on that too. / list pulling. Number 3 is going to be following up with sellers and list pulling. I think that's a pretty good one. And then number 2 here is going to be marketing. So this is going to be cold calling, SMS, bandit signs, etc. Okay. Oops, there we go. Number 2 is going to be marketing, cold calling, SMS text blasting, reaching out to sellers. And the number 1 are just going to be qualifying and closing deals on. All right. Look, where is this one? I had one issue here. There we go. I knew that would do that. All right. Number 1 will be also, this is the number 1 income producing activity, which I think people know, I've talked about before, but this is qualifying and this is closing deals on appointments, right? These are the 5 income producing activities. And whatever you're not doing, those things are probably not going to be income producing. Now, for scaling operation or training VAs, you're like, that's in there. But like if you're not $250,000, it's probably nothing we're going to focus on too. But like, so let's talk about the 5 ones again. If we're going to audit ourselves, talking with cash buyers, title companies, assignment of contracts and buyers appointments, following up with the sellers and list pulling. Number 2, marketing, cold calling, SMS text blasting, bandit signs, whatever we're doing, trying to talk to sellers. And then number 1 is going to be qualifying, closing deals on appointments. And I'm saying this, I'm trying to be as nice as possible. If you're not where you're at right now in your wholesaling business, and if the majority of your day is not doing those 5 things, you need to audit yourself and change it, because those are things that make money. So if you're not spending your time on your work that's not making money, designing logos, researching law, like you can research laws, but like maybe an hour or 2 a week, not crazy, right? But like you're spending 2 or 3 hours trying to learn wholesaling, that'll help you out, but you should do some more execution, right? And yeah, if I go work out for an hour, that's not income producing. That's not the end of the world. Maybe I'll listen to a Zach Ginn YouTube channel video in the background, right? Maybe download an episode of the Bags Riches podcast on Spotify and Apple. A lot of these live streams all the live streams actually, the MP3s are actually on the Bags Riches podcast on Spotify and on the Bags Riches podcast on Apple. If you work out, listen to me, right? I tell you guys straight up, like, yes, the education is important, but like if you're using education to stop you from taking action, you're not going to be successful, right? And I just want people to understand that you have to understand wholesaling real estate to a very, very, very nitty-gritty, stupid, easy level. And it all comes down to those 5 things on getting money. Okay, let's talk about these 5 things again. If you're not doing these things, you're not making money in wholesaling, okay? Number 5, talking with cash buyers and talking with title companies. Number 4, doing assignment of contracts and doing buyers on the cash buyers, appointments, the walkthroughs. Number 3, following up with sellers, pulling lists, skip tracing, things like that. Number 2, marketing, cold calling, text blasting, doing bandit signs, things like that. Number 1, doing direct mail, answering calls like that. Number 1, qualifying and closing deals on appointments. Qualifying motivated sellers. All right, motivated sellers. So if everyone wants to screenshot this, they can do that from there. But really, guys, if you're not doing these 5 things, you're actually doing yourself a disservice in your own business, and you're actually not making money. And I can talk to anybody, if you're not doing these things, you're not making real money in wholesaling, right? And yes, this comes down to a really important part, how do I calculate the offers, the ARVs, guys? Did I say that's an income producing activity? Calculating how much my offer is going to be is not going to produce me money, because you need to lowball your sellers. So I spend 5, 10, 15 minutes comping. That's fine. But just, I want everyone to say, I'm saying this, that's not going to produce you money. What produces you money is actually going to here lowballing the seller. Creating an offer is not going to produce income. And that is going to be a statement that's going to offend a lot of people in this live stream. And unfortunately, this is what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. People might get a little upset at me saying it, but it's true. You writing the perfect offer formula for 45 minutes to an hour is not going to make you any more money. You might know what it potentially could sell for, but that hour is probably better spent comping for 15, 20 minutes and spending an extra 40 minutes talking to a seller following up. But a lot of you guys don't want to cold call, and you want to have the disguise that comping for an hour is actually going to make me more money when it's really not. And this is talking to hundreds of thousands of wholesalers, the ones that do very well, that don't. ARV is important, but honestly, your seller's not going to care about the ARV minus repairs multiplied by a certain multiple. Like, they care about what your offer is and how much you're going to buy the property for. And I am still a big proponent of finding ARV and repairs and multiplying it. I'm a huge proponent of that. I tell everyone still to do that. But I want you guys to understand that there is a limit to it, okay? It is a necessary to do it, but if you go overboard on it, it's actually going to be detrimental to you, okay? It is kind of like drinking coffee. Drink a cup, 2, 3 maybe. But once you're at 10 or 15 cups, like, that's not going to get you more energy to do wholesaling, okay? And it's just so funny that people are like, should I do 30 cups of coffee before I talk to a seller? No, okay? Maybe do a cup or two if that's what you like. But like, that's not going to make you like the champion, okay? And I definitely offended so many people on that, but I'm going to be honest, if you're not doing those 5 things, you're not making money. And check yourself, okay? This is why I'm a big proponent of lowballing your sellers, because you don't know. Hold on, let me inch up closer to you guys, all right? You don't know what your motivated seller's lowest price is going to be. You don't know it. You can't go on the computer. You can't calculate what it's going to be. You're going to have to ask them, okay? Any lowball strategies I teach you for wholesaling.com, that's what it's going to be, okay? You are not going to know what their lowest you're going to take. You're going to have to ask. You're going to have to lowball. And there's no shame in lowball, because 20, 30% of lowballs are going to be accepted. Most of them are going to say no. You counter, still make money, right? But for those lowballs that get accepted, those are going to be $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 deals. And those home run deals are going to change everything in your life, your business, and your financial future. And I just want you guys to understand that. There's no type of ARV calculations that is going to take you more than 25, 30 minutes at most for you to do $50,000 on a deal. I've never spent more than 30 minutes looking at a comp that I made $50K on for. Because I was like, you know, this is a no-brainer price. I know for a fact I could probably sell it for this. Boom, good to go, right? And I just want you guys to understand that. It's more about the motivation from the seller, why they want to sell the property, versus their motivation, and the condition's important too, but like, it's more of what a cash buyer is willing to buy it for, right? And you just got to understand how that works, and you'll be good. So, and then Ruben, I'm talking about, like, I see some comments on here. Should I be offering 56% of ARV regardless of repairs? Ruben, I clearly can tell by this comment you have not gone through freewholesaling.com and learn what the offer formula is in there. With that offer formula, it should take you 5 to 15 minutes for a decent wholesaler, okay, to do that, and 30 minutes for a complete beginner if you're super new. You just spit out a random number in the air and you think that's what's going to fly. Go to freewholesaling.com and just do it, okay? I want you guys to understand. So I'm going to put freewholesaling.com on the bottom here so you guys understand that, but that's my free wholesaling course. That's the knowledge part. And a lot of people are just spitting out random offer generators and think like, I already have it set out, okay? I want to ask a question for everyone, and I'm saying this really nicely. Oh, this is a cup I got my senior year because I was a captain on the wrestling team. Kind of cool, but I had old cups from high school. But let me ask something. If for everyone that argues with me about the offer formula that I have, and I'm saying this as humbly as possible, do you make more money than me in wholesaling? I sincerely want to know if you're doing more than 30 deals every single month for the past 3 or 4 years, and you argue me for the offer price, show me some HUDs and I'll say no. If you are not, then I humbly ask you to stop trying to spit out whatever offer formula your favorite broke guru is telling you, and learn that if somebody who does wholesaling around the country, a ton of deals for over 6+ years, okay? If I say this works and hundreds of thousands of my students use it and it works, then the offer formula works, okay? Whatever you just generate in your head, I might be wrong, but unless you're making more money than me in wholesaling, I can't really respect whatever offer formula you put. Unfortunately, these gurus are broke and they don't actually know how to do wholesaling, so I can't respect it. So it's so crazy. So a lot of gurus say 50 or 60%, but Zach says it changes depending on your price. If it's under, see, Wana Etuk, definitely saying your name wrong. I'm sorry. If it's under 120K, I probably use 70%. But I just want you guys to understand, gurus say 50% because they think you're stupid. And I'm saying, like, this is another offensive comment I'm going to say, but the gurus want you to use 50% because they think you're an idiot. They think that you're not smart enough to understand how to actually do ARV, because most beginners, if they do ARV, they're going to look at comps from 2 years ago, no, from a year ago, and think that's what it's worth now. If you add 50%, sure, it's going to work. But if you do comps that worked in the past week or 2 or 3 weeks, then you actually know what the actual ARV is, the 70% works. But if you do an inflated ARV, then 50% of that works. Gurus say 50 to 60 because they think you're stupid. And if you actually know how to do ARVs the right way, then 70% works. And it's all an equation, right? Because if ARVs were 120 and now properties are worth 100,000, 50% of that 120 is going to be 60, but I think 70 of is going to be 70, right? Close enough, but 55, 60%, that's probably what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be on there. And I think so many people get that really confused. The gurus give you stupid low ones because they think you're stupid. And if you actually do the real calculations, it drives you crazy. So Combob has it right here. This is kind of my offer formula on here. But I want you guys to understand, if your ARV is too high, this will not work. The ARVs have to be for 2022 and 2023 standards. This is not January of 2022. ARVs are down 10, 15, 20% of what they were previously. So you can add that in if you want to, make a price adjustment. But for what today's ARV is, minus the repairs, if you multiply it by these percentages, you'll be fine. So if you have a comp from a week ago, use this. If you have a comp from 12 months ago, and a guru thinks you're stupid, and you don't know what the difference between what it's worth then from now, then use what they do. But I'm just telling you, if you keep using these stupid guru things, you're going to get in trouble. Because these gurus broke, they don't know what they're talking about, and they don't know how to wholesale. So I want you guys to understand that. I get in a lot of trouble from saying this, okay? I think so many people get really confused. And I just humbly go to freewholesaling.com. It's there. That's the offer. That's the formula on here, and that's what it is. But I want you guys to understand that. I think so many people get this really confused. But yeah. So let's see what comments we got here and see if I can help you guys out. Appreciate you guys hopping on the live stream. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. A quick announcement. I forgot to say this. There's apparently a tropical storm that's literally it's going to hit straight over my house. Straight over, 60, 70 mile an hour wind gust, which I can care less. I'm fine. I got I have a category 5 hurricane windows at my place. I don't care. But just understand the power might be out on, I'm guessing, Wednesday. I've seen crazy things where the power stays on, The power might be off Wednesday, so I did record a video in advance just in case Wednesday. Thursday, I'll have the power. It'll be fine. But just in case Wednesday, we might not have power. I'm hoping something changes, but just letting everyone know if I go MIA on Wednesday and there's a video, just understand that, right? Other announcement before I get into questions here. I do have a free wholesaling challenge actually tomorrow. So it's called the Driving for Deals Challenge. Let me get the link on it, guys. It's free. There's no guru course at the end of it. There's none of that stupid stuff. Actually, wait, let me check if you can even join it anymore. I'm not saying that to be mean. Zoom only lets me do 1,000 on it because it costs money to actually do this stuff. Let me check right now. So it's a Driving for Deals Challenge. And pretty much what that means is everybody at dmzach.com. Yeah, actually, no, you can't join it. Perfect. I'll put in the link then. We're only 1,000 people on, and everyone can still hop on, see it, but only 1,000 people on it. First of all, why don't you buy a generator for you, not us? I have a generator. I don't have internet. So when the power goes out, I don't have internet. Okay. It's not about having a generator or not, because I got the generator. It's having the internet. Okay. And yeah, with LTE, it's okay. But it's still spotty, like crazy. Okay. So just let everybody understand the generator sitch. Okay. But this is pretty much it. I got it on there. You can hop on the challenge. And honestly, the reason why I want to do a challenge is everyone at dmzach.com basically said we about $1,500 worth of stuff for everybody on here. So pretty much there's going to be a ton of people just getting free Driving for Dollar software. But the honest truth is, honestly, Starlink, that might be the move. I'm going to try Starlink. But I think they're trying to give it to people that are in like, legit war zones. But we'll see if they let me on it. I'll look up Starlink. If it's like $500, I'll probably just spend it, just do a live stream. But I just want you guys to understand. So it's called the Driving for Deals Challenge. And basically what it is dmzach.com. What we're going to do is basically break down. I like the case studies. And this is really what I like doing, because when I make challenges, people actually create their own stinking plans, and it drives me crazy. But once they create their own stinking plan, they actually get going. So what it is, I want to bring 1,000 people that haven't gotten their first deal, and I want to teach them and show them and be accountable for them for a month of driving for dollars only. That's why I'm calling it the Driving for Deals Challenge. So if you can't drive for dollars, don't get this okay challenge. 1,000 people that want to get in driving for dollars, hop on the challenge, okay? I'm having David is going to do it with me, David Letko. So he's the founder of dmzach.com Deal Machine. And basically, David's going to hop on with me tomorrow. We're going to kick it off. And we're just going to talk about driving for dollars, okay? That's it. Plans, how to do it the right way. And if you hop on there, you'll be part of the challenge. And basically, what we're going to try to do on there is, I got to talk to David on it, but pretty much if you can get your first deal with Deal Machine, I'm pretty sure you get the software for free. Now, don't quote me on that, but actually, I'll have David do it for you. If you could prove you got your first deal driving for dollars, you'll get Deal Machine for free. You'll get it for free, okay? That's the cool part about Deal Machine, all right? With the challenge, if anyone who hops on gets their first deal, software is free, all right? And a lot of people are going to get it for free, okay? And basically what we're going to do is for every single Monday at 2 o'clock for the next month, I'll hop on with dmzach.com team. I'll talk to everybody that's driving for dollars questions, help them out with their plans, things like that, and be good to go. Now, for all the prizes, the one-on-ones, the talking, it's going to be private. Now, don't be upset at me. I think we're at 9 something. I know we're going to hit 1,000 by tonight, just because I literally just gave you the link. So hop on tonight. Once we hit 1,000, nobody can hop on the Zoom. And unfortunately, I'm probably going to have 5,000 people that want to hop on the challenge. I'm only giving to 1,000, okay? And I haven't really talked on a live stream on it too much. But for 1,000 on it, okay? So for the 1,000 on there, you can hop on, ask me questions, I'll talk to you. For the 4,000 people that can't, I'm going to live stream the first week on the Flip with Rick. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. on the Flip with Rick YouTube channel, we're going to live stream it. Then for weeks 2, 3, and 4, then maybe 5, whatever the weeks work out there, I'll live stream it on the Zach Ginn channel on Monday at 2 o'clock. And then from there, guys, you can see it, but you just can't win the prizes on it and all the free stuff. But you got to be the first 1,000 to get the free stuff. But it'll all be documented live, all that stuff. It'll be on Zoom, so it won't look high quality, but you guys understand the problem with Zoom's on there. But that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, pretty cool. Hop on there. Call it the Drawing for Deals Challenge. I think all you got to do is, it costs no money. There's no upsell at the end. Like there's no like, oh, buy my course at the end of this. It's all these challenges go. I want to make people accountable. So it'd be pretty cool. Pretty much 30-day action plan on it. But yeah, we're going to do a kickoff. So Drawing for Deals Challenge. But yeah, be pretty cool. Hop on there and we get the Drawing for Dollars done, execute it. And on that challenge, like, hey, you want me to talk to a seller? I'll talk to a seller, follow up. I'll do all that stuff for anyone in the challenge, right? And I just want to get people taking action. And like I said, plan, right? Like I'm so into making plans and I am so into the discipline of it. I'm willing to spend my time to create this challenge so people can actually take execution. Because I know out of that 1,000, hopefully we get hundreds of people that get their first deal from it. Like the 30-day wholesaling challenge was the biggest endeavor I think I've ever done on this channel. And that created more people getting their first deal, first $100,000 than ever. And just doing a Drawing for Dollars one like that's going to be really cool because it's going to be a cool case study. And I don't do challenges too often. July was probably the most insane one I did, 30-day wholesaling challenge. I'll probably do another one next year. But I think for at least for the next 4, 5, 6 months, this will be the only challenge I have. Because that 30-day wholesaling challenge took a lot out of me. Not a lot of it, it was a lot of work. I edited all the videos myself, all that stuff, and it's a little easier now for me, but that was insane. So hop on there. Be pretty cool. But yeah, they're all going to be on the Flip with Rick YouTube channel tomorrow. So at 2 o'clock if you're not part of the 1,000. But yeah, so I think we talked about that. So let's kind of get into some of the questions we got. And yeah, I had a Discord type chat in the Facebook group, and Facebook banned it for bullying and harassment. So whatever, the Facebook group's fine. It's just the chat thing on there. So I was like, all right, whatever. So that ain't gonna be a thing. But Facebook group's all good. Just go on Wholesaling Analysis for Real. It's all good. But I gotta try that Starlink. That's pretty cool. So let's answer some one-on-one calls. Let's see what questions we got on here. So let's hop on and talk to the people. Esmeralda.
Oh, hey, Zach.
Can you hear me? Loud and clear.
All right, cool beans. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm so grateful for your for everything you said, because you're so right. I'm doing better, but one thing I was thinking of as you were talking, I was like, man. So, for example, like Saturday, I was supposed to cold call for 3 hours, and I stopped at 1 hour, and I was like, man, Zach is right. You got to write that down, and then whenever you want to quit, you look at what you told yourself you were going to do and say, nope, it's not that time yet. So, man, I really appreciate it. I have some questions for you. Oh, let's see here. Oh boy. Okay, so do you mind if I share with you my stats that I got this week?
Yeah, of course.
So I used to, the stats I got this week, last time I got these kind of stats, it took me a month. So we're getting better, which is great. So this past week, I was able to get in touch with 236 people. I said hello to 83 of them. So 83 people picked up the phone. I talked to 26 owners. I dialed 875 numbers, and I left 190 voicemails.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of, and then I did 13 hours, and I wanted to do 15, but I didn't quite reach it. But this week I'm really gonna live up to what you were saying and just, write it down, know what your goal is, know what your hours are, and then just execute, just like you were saying. And I got 4 lukewarm appointments. They're not like legit appointments, but I got some people that were, yeah, I guess that's the best way to describe it, lukewarm. Okay. So my first question to you is, have you had any experience cold calling on Saturdays? Because I know
Yeah.
you say, oh, okay, cool. And so I've been doing that. But I know that you said, on different of your videos that Monday through Friday is the best, but I thought I'd see what your experience has been cold calling on Saturdays.
Not as good as Monday through Friday. I would say Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the 3 worst days. Just, I mean, makes sense, right? But Saturdays are not the end of the world. I think 9 to 2 is probably the best time on those days.
9 to 2 on Saturdays is the best
Yeah.
time. Okay.
Then after 1 p.m. on Sundays.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been doing Sundays.
Okay.
I think I did it once actually, and I didn't get anybody getting too angry at me. But then I figured maybe Sunday's pushing it. But Saturday 9 to 2. All right, cool beans. All right, and then so what? And just to clarify, you also said Friday, Saturday, Sunday are probably not as good as Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's like fishing to a point, right? So fishing get very advanced, right? Like, oh, is it a slack tide? What kind of day? How are the moons? Fishing get crazy when you go offshore. But the one thing you got to understand is there might be not a good conditions for fishing, but even if you fish, you're going to catch something. I've had days where you shouldn't catch anything, and I caught a bunch, right? It's just like you're fishing, right? And the coolest part about that is you can't catch fish if you're not fishing. Same thing with marketing, right? So yeah, you might be fishing, the conditions might not be good, but heck, it's better than not fishing, right? So yeah.
I get you. Yeah, I hear you on that. All right, cool beans. Let's see here. Oh, this is like a mini question, but so I have on my Mojo settings. You've used Mojo in the
Oh
past,
yeah.
have you? Okay. On the ring setting, I have it on 6 rings before it hangs up. But I thought I'd ask and see, am I wasting my time? Should I put, because I noticed that I'm sitting for a bit. I wonder if I should change it to 4 or 5. What have you
Yeah,
done with
6.
Mojo? Okay, 6. So
Not
then
bad.
keep it at 6.
Why not?
Fantastic. All right. Okay, cool beans. So I got a set. So all right. So I got a seller that texted me sort of an angry text, and I just wondered what you would do. Would you put her in the DNC, or would you still call, like when I'm gonna call next time? What she say exactly? She says, "Stop calling me about my properties. Do you see them listed? They are not." It sounded like she was maybe fed up with people like me trying to contact her. Would you put that number in the DNC, or would you just,
Was this a text or a call?
It was a text. She texted me back.
I would just probably put, are you interested in selling your property? Question mark. If not, what's your name so I can take it off the list?
Okay.
So
Okay. I'm going
they
to
might be
rewatch
upset
that.
with you, but at least they'll respond,
Say that again.
They might be upset with you, but at least you'll get a response and you'll know if they're interested or not.
Gotcha.
Most likely they're not interested though. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what that text sounded
Likewise.
like to me. I hear you. Okay. Another one I have is I've been calling. So if I get a voicemail, especially if it's the primary cell number of the owner, that's most likely the owner, I'll leave a message. And what I currently have now is I'll say, "Hey, this is Esmeralda. I'm just calling to see if you have a property you're interested in selling. I'm looking to buy a couple more properties for cash. If that's something you're interested in, please call me back." And then I say my number, and then I say thanks, and I hang up. But then what I've been doing is calling them back again, so redialing the number. And I thought I'd ask to see if your VAs do that, or have you done that, or do you just move on to the next person after you leave a voicemail?
Oh, what's the list?
It's a vacancy.
Okay. What's the equity on it?
whatever you said to put on the. I watched one of your videos
Smart person.
where you taught us how to do it on PropStream,
Yeah,
and whatever it is that you suggest, that's what I did.
that's smart. Whoever you listen to is a smart person. So
I
good stuff.
agree.
I would probably call that person once every other month.
Once every other month.
Yeah.
Once every other month. Gotcha. All right. Okay. This is a super small question, but I noticed that you don't say your number. Like when you leave a message, you'll just say, "Hey, this is Zach," and then you'll go into the thing, and then you'll say, "Call me back," and then you hang up. I've been leaving my number. Do you think that's necessary, or?
I have a question. Has your mom ever left you a voicemail?
Yes, she has.
Does she leave her number?
She does not. No.
Do your friends leave their number?
No.
You want to be a friend of the person, right?
Man, you are a smart human. All right, cool. So no, I'm not gonna leave my number no more then. Yeah, it felt weird to me. So I thought I'd just ask.
It's a
Awesome.
disconnect,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you on that. All right, cool. So no more number on the message. I had a guy say that he'd be ready in a month and to call him back in a month. If you
Call
had
next week.
someone call next week,
Yeah.
call next week.
We can
And
get something under agreement to buy it, then we can agree to close it on that date. It gives you more time to move out, gives me more time to look at the property, run title, things like that. I just can't shake your hand and buy a house in a day.
I hear you. Okay. Gotcha. And I'll probably also tell them about what you've been saying in your videos to maybe mention about how the interest rates are going up and, the price will be different in a month, most likely going down. So the sooner he wants to get a deal done, the better it is for him to get a better price, right?
Yeah. I'm
Cool.
not looking to scare somebody, and they should know. But yeah, I agree.
Gotcha. Cool beans. All right, awesome. Oh, I had another guy. He was kind of angry, and he said, I'm guessing a lot of people are calling, but he said, I'll I'll only sell it if you give me the price I want. And then he said, what's your offer? And then I said, I said what you and Rick kind of say about the car. Have you ever bought a car without test driving it first? And then he hung up on me. So I figured maybe there's just no motivation there.
Yeah, if they're not looking to sell the property. Gotcha. I would call the person back and just see, but I wouldn't waste your time on that.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. Okay, so the last one I got for you is I got this guy, and he did, he took the time to tell me about the house and stuff, but he was giving me contradictory information. He kept saying, I'm not pressed to sell it, which to me means he's not motivated. But he also would tell me how old he is and how he's tired and he doesn't really want to do the work on the house. It needs a new roof. Pretty much all he's done is put new windows in it, and it looks, I saw the pictures on Zillow. It looks in pretty rough shape. So he said, I'm not pressed to sell it 3 times. So I'm not sure if to go with that or if to go
I
after.
feel motivation on it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So go after that. Awesome. And then I'm gonna revisit how to, get the maximum allowable offering on your on the
Sure.
wholesaling for free website. Awesome. Okay, so go after it. And he did say, give me an offer. He said, come and look at the property and give me an offer, but I'm virtual. So
I think you're overthinking this.
I think you're right. Even as I'm talking to you, I'm like, just go after it, right?
Yeah, when in doubt, go after it.
Cool. Awesome. All right, and I'm just going to share with you what I'm going to be doing this week. I'm thinking, because I don't have any buyers yet, I'm going to be spending 3 hours in the morning calling for rents, like you say to do on your videos. And then in the evening, 3 hours on, prospecting sellers and getting a good idea of who's interested and who's not.
Sure.
So yeah, cool, man. Boy, it's such a awesome feeling to be able to know that I've got somebody that I can talk to about, what's going on here. Cause a lot of the times I feel confused or I feel like I'm not, but I'm just feel so honored that you allow yourself to give us your time, man. I really appreciate it. Especially because what time is it where you're at, man? 8, 9, 10, 11?
11:15.
Oh, boy, man. Thank you.
Well, I don't get up at 4 a.m. Okay, I'm 23. All right, I got friends. I like spending time with them, and they don't go to bed at 8 p.m. So I'm not up. I'm up early, but like I'm not 4 a.m. type guy. So I enjoy this. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And regardless, I appreciate this time you're giving us, and thank you for helping me out here. And hopefully, I can report some better stats next week.
All right, keep it up. Here's the most important stat: how many offers do you make? Think about that. All right.
Boy, man, yeah, 0 right now.
How do you expect to get any deals if you've made no offers?
Yeah, I hear you. Next week, man.
All right,
that number's going to change. That number's going to change next week. I appreciate you, man.
Offers.
Thank you, Zach.
All right.
Give offers.
Have a great one.
Thank you.
Oh, guys, the number one thing I could tell you is if you've done a deal or not, it's about how many offers you've made. And if you haven't made any offers, you haven't done any deals. It's a simple equation. Clint.
Hey, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Zach? What's up, man? First off, thanks for your time again. I really appreciate what you do. I just got a few questions. I want to fire them off to you real quick, all right?
Perfect.
So, first off, with abandoned sites, what do you think would be the best places to put them? Obviously, the side of the road are busy places of traffic. But any other tips besides that?
What market are you in again?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Yeah, you're Hartford. Busy places, stop signs, red lights, where a lot of traffic usually is. Not major highways, but a lot of traffic. You know Hartford, right? Like you know where the traffic's at. You know where people are driving through.
I mean, yeah, I'm figuring out. I just moved here from New York, actually, but
okay.
I'll figure it out. I got you.
Let me give you a quick hack. All right, let me give you a cool hack. Go on Google Maps at 9 a.m. tomorrow or 5 p.m. and see where the red traffic jams are in the city. Put signs there.
You said 9 a.m. or 5 p.m.?
9 a.m. or 5 p.m. See where, or maybe 8 or 6, and see where the red traffic congestion is in the city. Go after those areas.
Yeah, smart dude. Thanks, man.
Of course.
So you said when you were 17, you spent $300 on abandoned signs. How many signs you did? I mean, starting out. It depends on your budget.
I think it was 120 or 150.
Wow, 150.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap back then.
Yeah, it's probably gone up a little bit by then. So right now we're coming into the winter. Would you say, obviously not to deter myself, would you say this is probably the hardest time to get started, especially with me being in the Northeast and snowing?
No, it'd be harder next year.
Next year, this time?
Yeah, it'd be harder the year after that. And the year after that would be harder.
Why would you say that? Because of prices?
Yeah, there'd be more wholesalers next year than this year.
Oh, yeah.
In 10 years, there's going to be so many more wholesalers in Hartford than now. So think about that, okay? The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and the second best time is now.
Gotcha.
The skills you're going to have when winter's over in wholesaling in, 5 months? You're going to be way better than if you just quit and then rejoined in 5 months. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
And do people just magically are like grizzly bears and go into hibernation in the winter and they don't wake up?
Nah,
They're
don't
all
work
on their
like
stinking
that.
phones, right?
Yeah,
Call them up.
gotcha.
Foreclosures still happen. Probate still happen, right? Code violations still happen. People not paying taxes still happen. We're approaching November right now. Property taxes are due in November. It's probably an
Gotta make that
amazing
move.
time to go after that list, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, actually gonna do that next week. So another question. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said when you're looking at prices on Zillow, don't go below a certain percentage in your offer price.
Those are for FSBO.
Yeah, FSBO for FSBO. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go over 70% on FSBOs in Hartford.
Okay, don't go over. So you take 65 or 60.
Let's do 75 on FSBOs for Hartford.
Okay. Copy 75%. Take that note. And so quick question now. So I was speaking to a seller on Zillow, and she had a property listed for 239. I spoke to her, and she admitted that it needs about 30,000 in repairs. So she
Okay.
said, so I asked her asked her what price would she be willing to work with, and she said she can deal with 200K. I said, all right, let me talk to my partners and I'll get back to you. My question is, because I spoke to some other wholesalers on the mastermind, and one guy told me I should probably try to go down to 130. If not, it might not even be worth it. What do you think?
You said 39
Yeah.
minus 30,000 multiplied by 0.8, you're at 167.
Okay. That's what percentage is that?
80.
80%. Okay, so that's the price range I should want to shoot for when I'm talking about. Gotcha.
No, you gotta be below that.
Gotta go below that.
Yeah, I would probably try 150.
At
And then
least.
meet
All
in the middle,
right.
maybe at 160. I don't know. Like, you gotta look here. If it's listed for 239, I've done those 100K price reductions. That's a little much. Shoot for. How long has the property been listed for?
I'll look right now. Give me like 10 seconds.
Yeah, you're good. The issue I found when they've been listed for that long is that they're usually delusional in that price.
That's what I'm feeling, man. But I spoke to her. She said she complained that she had people offering her 175. So that number.
Then go with them. She hasn't gone with them.
Okay, it's been on Zillow for 85 days.
Yeah, they're gonna be. I like to go after offers that are over 100. I'd like to offer properties that are over 100 days.
So just follow up with her every few months.
Yeah, follow up with her. I like over 100 days.
Okay, I'll make sure I follow up with her.
You go through all the FSBOs in Hartford in probably a day or two. So
Yeah, pretty quickly.
It's not gonna be much.
Yeah, I'm telling you, pretty quickly. The next question, if you're done with that, with your 2 cents on that, my next question: would you, as far as skip tracing go, if I'm gonna get Deal Machine and Deal Machine has skip tracing, should I even bother getting batch skip tracing for skip tracing?
If you're going to drive for dollars, probably not. But understand that Batch, there's a free Drawing for Dollars app on there if you use Batch. So you just got to decide on yourself what's best for you. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're just Drawing for Dollars, maybe Deal Machine. But if you want to use any other stuff on there, maybe Batch. You just got to do it yourself, right? Because Deal Machine's going to be a little cheaper, but it's only Drawing for Dollars, right? So if you want the comping or stuff, Batch, like, you got to look, right? Like, it's all push and a pull, right?
I got you. I mean, you said Cause like I said, I'm on like a $600-700 marketing budget right now for the month. And you said if you're gonna get like prop stream, you should probably have at least $2,000 marketing budget. Am I correct with that?
I mean, if you drive for dollars, it really depends on the skip tracing. Because if you use listaria.com, you can get Trying for Dollars app on there for free with it too. So
Oh, okay. I
they
got
all
you.
have their own free Drawing for Dollars app with them. Deal Machine's really good for just drawing for dollars, right? But like the other ones have stuff too that's very adequate that'll definitely help you.
I got you. So I just gotta just try them out. I got you. So would you think auction properties are worth looking at on Zillow?
No.
Nope.
No.
Take that off. And so I'm gonna be on the Deal Machine webinar tomorrow. So you probably would answer this then. But I was gonna ask you if you knew any hacks for finding good areas to deal machine to do driving for dollars. Like,
Yeah, there's multiple ways for it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's two big ways I really like doing this. Number one, I like knowing. Let's call it three. There's a list source hack which I have at freewholesaling.com. It shows you how to find where the most cash sales are per zip code.
Yeah, I got that.
County, but you already know that. So number two, I like to steal my competition's cash buyers and steal where they're actually doing deals, which I just go in the Connecticut real estate investing group, seeing people that are posting checks, finding the address of those, and then using those areas, right? You can also look up the top flippers in your market and like a real estate investing groups. So if I see a guy or gal on here that says, oh, I wholesale and I flip 5 deals a month in Hartford, look up what their company name is, look them up on public records and see where they're flipping. And then you'll figure out they mostly flipping in 3 zip codes, go in those zip codes, right? And then last but not least, I would ask my cash buyers where they're looking to buy property and then just do those areas, right?
I got you. So
in worst case scenario, Clint, I like to go after lower ARV areas with lower crime rates. So the cheapest properties with the lowest crime rates are going to be the best ones.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's Hartford's interesting because I did some research on it. There's some areas that are really low, but the crime rate's really high. But there's a lot of these blue collar type areas in Hartford where the crime rate's low, but the ARVs are also low, and it's very attractive for people to buy it to rent it out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I saw a 9-room house for $200K. It was off market though. It probably needed a shit ton of work. But yeah, so got that. This is a rehash. You told me for probates, if it's longer than 2 months old, don't even bother dealing with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't deal with it.
Yeah, because they're predators. They're like sharks now. And the last question I got before I let you go. So when you're doing virtual marketing, just want to make sure I'm correct. So you condition the seller. You come to an agreement with them. Now, do you have your boots on ground person evaluate the property before you finalize that deal, or do you have?
I always am looking at it before I finalize the virtual deals.
Okay, and I'm trying to be clear because the person who you having do this for you, I mean, you put yourself in my position. I don't have the connections yet. It would be someone you found on Craigslist or an advertisement.
Yeah, I would probably do a Facebook group or even use a realtor.
And the realtor is not likely to steal the deal from you.
Not really, if you pay them to do it.
Oh, simple Cash App.
Yeah.
Okay. You probably just found a realtor in one of those investment groups on Facebook.
Yeah, preferably they'll find the cash buyer for you too.
All right. I'm all out of questions for now, man. Thanks for your time, bro.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Oh, all right. Next here we got Sosa.
Yo, Zach, what's going on?
I'm blessed, man. What's up? How are you?
I'm all right. I got a couple questions for you real quick.
All right, let them rip.
All right, so the first one is I was talking to I was speaking with the seller, and long story short, the owner passed to 2017. The son passed this year. He has a son-in-law that lives in Florida. The house is still in his name though. I talked to his niece, and she want to sell it. And I was saying what would be the process I would go through. Oh, and what I mean is she's saying she the only one left, basically. So that's why she thinks she'll be what would the process be for me to get, like, would it start a probate or how does it work?
So property is in North Carolina, and the only heir here you're saying is in what state?
I didn't even ask her where she was at. I don't even know if she the heir. I just wound up trying to get in contact with him. I got in contact with her.
Okay, how many heirs are there on this property?
I don't even think it's none. I think he just passed and just left it there because the house still in his name.
Okay, and the person you're talking to is in what relation to the person that passed away?
It's her uncle, so that's his niece. And she
Okay, that's pretty good.
And she's saying she the only one left. He got a son-in-law in Florida, but she not saying like the property's tied to him. But she's saying he got the son-in-law. This is what exactly she said. He have a son-in-law in Florida. I'm gonna call him and see what do I have to do to get it in my name.
Got it. Okay. Your best case scenario, man, is do you already have an attorney in North Carolina for this? That helps you out?
No.
No. Okay. You probably have a title company then, right?
Yeah, I do have a title company.
Okay. Does the title company have a lawyer there?
Yeah, you know, in North Carolina, they attorneys. It ain't no title company, it's attorneys. They are attorneys.
Yeah, but like they're kind of all together, right? And there's usually one person there that's usually in-house.
Yeah. They is in-house. Yeah.
So I would probably go there, talk to the guy or gal, the attorney. Hey, I want to close this with you guys. What do I do? And ask them how to legally do it in North Carolina, because I'm not the expert in every single state. Yeah. But what I would probably do, which I usually do, which you should do what I just said, but I would probably, just because I'm a dummy sometimes, I'll just get it under contract with the lady for the estate of person that passed away.
Yeah.
Get the contract, bring it to an attorney or a title company or a probate attorney, have them start dealing with that, right? And then I'd start going through the process, and then you go from there.
All right, yeah. So go ahead and cause that's what I told her. If I help you get through this, you'll send me. And she was like, yeah. So lock it up first. Ask the title company what they do. Find an attorney, bring it to them, and if they say we can do the probate, let them start it. And how does the paying part, like the attorney? I just pay them out of like my fee.
You'd probably pay him off of your fee. That'd be it depends on how the title wants to do it.
Yeah.
But I'd probably pay off of his fee, or the seller pays it. They have to get the property sold, and they're going to get hopefully 100% equity off the deal. So it really depends on how you want to do it. I'd probably have the seller pay for it.
Yeah, because I was going to tell her, because I just wanted to see when I call, I ain't want to speak too fast, but say you ain't got to worry about paying the attorney.
No, honestly, it probably won't go out of yours unless you get like a $15,000 price reduction and you agree to pay for the attorney. I'd rather leave it
for the attorney, but just tell her we'll hold on, go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, yeah, I would probably leave it on the seller.
Yeah. But I already told him help it through the process. So I help you through the process, but just help it through the process to get an attorney and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And another thing is too, she said something like, I think it's 100% equity too. It don't look like they owe. And I was looking it up on prop screen. And it's real distressed too. It's highly distressed.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. And another thing she said though, she said it's the property behind it. It's something about that the county labeled it as one big property. Would I make an offer for two or just one?
It depends on what's on the deed. So you know to work the property appraiser. I'd probably go on the deed.
Yeah, I give you. I can figure that because they might be separate. I know they make two different offers. All right, here go my all right, here go my other question. So I was just pulling the lists. I was pulling the water shut off, test the link with scrubbing them, pull them, and all things like that. Which is today the 6th. So for me to keep my consistent schedule next month, I need to be pulling again on the 6th. And from now on, when I'm pulling my lists, they need to be on the 6th of each month. Like pull whatever I run out, pull, but make sure on the 6th of each month now to keep my schedule and my market.
I like it.
All right, I was just making sure that. Another thing, like I already know, we know the comps. It's always just ask for the offer, get the low. You feel me? Even if sometimes you don't know the comps. But I was just looking at the for sale by owners. You were saying so on the for sale by owners, you offer 75%.
That's just a general rule. I would prefer to comp it a little while talking to them and just getting the motivation right. But it's kind of a general rule, right? Like don't go above that.
All right. And when you say don't go above that, it's basically just
Don't go above it.
yeah. All right. But yeah. But on the on markets, like you said, it's 70%.
Yeah, 70. I think 70%. Yeah, on market.
Yeah, and I was confused when you say the 70. Cause one time I thought you said it was the max, and then one time I think you said it was the minimum. Which one it is on the market?
Max.
That's the max.
Max allowable.
All right. Another question. I seen the house.
By the way, no. If you're doing on market, no. All right, 70% should be the initial on market. My bad. I remember what I said on that. I remember what I said in the course. 7% should be the initial offer you take on the on market.
Yeah.
And then the MAO should be for FSBO 75. Yeah, I had wires crossed there.
All right, in the 70%, that's my max.
Say that one more time.
In the 70% on the on market, my max.
No, it depends. You should do comps from there. If they bite on that offer, do the comps and figure it out.
All right, that's just like on some quick. If they take it, yeah. But if not, just run the comps like a usual.
Yeah, just quick, because if you send 100 of those offers out, you might get 10, 15 bites, and then you can kind of get a little more into that.
All right, yeah. So I was driving for dollars the other day, and I seen the house, so it's tricky. It's on the like a real, like a busy road, just like a highway road. It's a road, but it's like a real long road. So on the left hand side is just a whole bunch of trees, like wood looking thing. And I really missed the house, but I kind of caught it at the last minute. So it's a house. It's totally vacant. It's real messed up. Like when you walk up, you can like see through the house from the windows broken to the door, even just all the way open. And from the house is just woods, and even the back of the house is just like hella woods, like acres. So it's no address on the house at all. But literally right across the street, it's some like subdivisions. Houses selling for like 200,000-300,000, and like they just up there though. It's like a nice subdivision. How do I find the address when I was using Deal Machine? When I clicked it on Deal Machine, the house I'm telling you about it looked like wooden. What it is wooden. But when I click on Deal Machine bring up some brick red house that kind of looked like the across the street, like in the subdivision looking thing. But on Deal Machine also, when the address not matching up, it says basically this address not matching up. Like, if you click a house, it'd be like, no, this address. It lets you still click it, but it lets you know this address don't match this house.
Yeah. Two things. I'd probably leave a sticky note on the property, and then I would ask the property appraiser. Straight up call them and ask.
Like, how would I find the address?
Hey, what's the proper? I can't find the property address next to this one.
There's nothing next to it though. Like the subdivision
across the street.
Okay, just get an address.
And then on a Google map and send it to the lady.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Whatever way you can.
All right. All right. One another one. How do you get an average deal?
Deal. My average deal would probably come from a high equity direct mail. If I have to put on my local market, most of them are going to come from that.
I mean, not average deal. I meant price. Like you have a consistent price that you get off. I mean, I know different. So you're saying
Average is around 30 grand right now for in person.
Yeah.
Just because we're biting some lower deals right now. I would say if I go harder on it, 35, 40, but I'd say 30 is our average deal. For virtuals, probably going to be closer to 10 to 15.
But I'm saying, how do you get that? Do you just know because if I just...
Well, I get it because I get under contract and I sell it to the cash buyer for that price.
No, but how do you know? Oh, because you saying I want 30 something off of this price to make 30, or I'm gonna just lowball them and we go wind up.
Oh, how I figure out my offers?
No, like, I mean, it's kind of common sense. Like, how you say you average like 30 a deal, like 30, like, or 30,000?
Because I look at how many deals I've done versus my profit.
Okay, so even if some of them came at like 22, you just...
Right, some are going to be 5, some are going to be 10, some are over 100, right?
Yeah, but on average, it's going to come up to 30. Okay.
Yeah, I'm an analytic nerd. Okay, when I do my Excels and all this stuff, if I did the last 5 deals and I made 500,000, or let's say I made 300,000 off the last 5 deals, 60K a deal, right? Or right?
Yeah, how would you do that? Would you like times 6 deals?
300,000 divided by 6, 50K a deal.
Okay, like that. That's how you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty much offering low and selling it for the best price. All right, and another thing. So I was just saying, somebody was just saying on something about buyers in the morning. So a good time that we call buyers in the morning, since it's not really...
Anytime, man. Anytime there's business hours, get business done.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And to that one lady who was asking about if she's still on here, who was asking about kind of calling on Saturdays. Saturday's good. I had got a real... This was on earlier this year though, but I had got a real good vacant pre-foreclosure deal calling on a Saturday. So
Nice, man.
Saturday's good. But that's all I had. Appreciate it, and I'll keep you updated.
All right. Appreciate you. Have a great one.
All right, yes, sir.
Perfect. Boom. Appreciate it. Sosa. Appreciate all the people on here, guys. If you want to hop on, talk to me one-on-one, guys. I do these on this channel. I do these on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and then I do it on today's Sundays. 4 days a week. You can hop on, talk to me one-on-one. Also, if you go to Rickens channel, you get an extra day to hop on the one-on-ones. Those are tomorrow, Mondays. So go to the Ricken YouTube channel tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, and you can hop on. He'll just stream our link on there like there. Just go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. They'll all be pinned on the chat so you guys can see them. And you can talk to me, guys. I always get a ton of people hopping on trying to talk to me. I can't get to everybody on every single one, but if you hop on all 4 or 5 of them, I guarantee you I'm going to reach you, okay? So, guys, hop on there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Last but not least, go to freewholesaling.com, and I'll see you guys soon. See you guys.